guys, it's Kishan and welcome back to another video. Happy New Year to everyone. It is now 2023 and some of you are getting ready to start your first summer at a summer camp. So I did an Instagram poll and I asked you guys what sort of videos you want to see first, and a lot of you voted that you want to see an orientation video first. So here it is. So a quick disclaimer, this is what orientation was like at my camp. I was at a sleepaway camp and the kids were there after we did orientation till like the very last day. A lot of camps do kind of run the same when they're doing the orientations, but I'm just going to give you a brief overview of what mine was like. Yours could be very different or very similar, and again, orientation just like depends on your job role at camp. So what is camp orientation? Camp orientation is the period before the kids arrive. During this time, you would do a lot of team building, you would do a lot of training, and you would go into a few like meetings and talks about child safety, etc, etc. So let's start from the beginning. As most of you know, I did Camp America flights. So I flew out on the 11th of June. Other people at my camp that chose Camp America flights, actually we all got put on the same flight, like I've mentioned before. So we did the security together, everything together. It was nice and easy. When we got to the airport, we had a pickup point. People flew in during the day and then we got taken to camp. It was nighttime, so we obviously got put in assigned cabins. All the lifeguards got put together, all the away got put together, which is outdoor adventure, they got put together, and then everyone else was just like in a mixed cabin, obviously with the same gender. And then the next day we woke up and we got put into groups. So as I previously mentioned, orientation at my camp was 2 weeks long. The first week was all international staff, outdoor adventure and lifeguards, as they have training to do. And then the second week, all the American staff arrived. So when we woke up, we all went to breakfast and we just kind of sat at tables and got to know each other. And then we got split into like different groups. So different groups were doing different things. So we actually went on a tour of camp. So we got to go around camp, we got to look around, get familiar with the surroundings. Like honestly, I was so like overwhelmed because our camp is actually really, really big. So going on this tour, I was like, oh my gosh, like no way. Like seeing the videos on the website and Instagram and then seeing it in person, like I was just like, whoa, this is pinch me. I was like, pinch me. And then after that, some people went off. So the lifeguards and the OA went off and they began their training and they began to like sort of get to know each other. And the rest of us, we kind of got assigned, like I said, in groups, and we started doing some like painting of camp, like started to get the camp ready for the kids basically. We then had lunch and then we sort of went back to our activities, carried on painting, whatever. I really liked this because it was like we were getting to know each other, like we were painting, but we were asking each other like, oh, where you from, what you do on camp, blah 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 blah. We bonded really, really, really quickly. So I feel like these like during the first couple days of orientation, you kind of get to feel what everyone's about and you kind of start to like make friendship groups. Obviously we had dinner, everyone went back to their cabins. It was nice because the group that I was with during the day wasn't necessarily the people in my cabin. So obviously when we would go back and we'd have showers, we'd come back and we'd tell each other what we've been doing throughout the day, and it was really nice to have a little catch up. It was like being at a massive sleepover basically with a bunch of girls. And then we have a WhatsApp group and we were like, let's have a game of American football on the turf or football. So then everyone kind of got in their comfy clothes at night and we all walked up to the turf and we all sat there and people played football. We all had my speaker playing music, talking and getting to know each other. And then we decided, some of us went into the indoor cinema and we watched Titanic and we went to bed. And then the next day was day 2. So day 2, we all woke up, we all had breakfast. I actually woke up super early because I was still like jet lagged. So when I woke up, it would have been like 9-10 in the UK, but it was actually like 6 a.m. at camp. So me and one of the girls, we were both awake. We decided to just go for a walk around camp and it was so beautiful. The sun was rising and it was quite peaceful and you could just hear nature. It was really, really nice. We went back to our cabin, we got ready for the day. Everyone went to breakfast. We all kind of mixed the tables around to sort of get to know each other. After that, the lifeguards went to continue their training, the OA went to continue their training, and everyone else who was like specialists and generals, we went back to painting, getting the camp ready for the kids to arrive. So I really enjoyed it. Like people might be like painting, but it was quite therapeutic and it was quite nice because obviously this group was different to the group we had the day before. So there's lots and lots and lots of opportunities during orientation to get to know people. And then it was lunchtime, and this was my favorite because this was my first Taco Tuesday in America. So before I went to America, I'd never ever eaten a taco in my life. And I was so excited to try tacos. Like, they had a row of tacos, had hard shells, soft shells, and we could build a taco. And it was so fun to experience my first Taco Tuesday, you know, in America with everyone else at camp. We kind of spent the rest of the day just roaming around camp, like I said, just walking around. It was really sunny, so everyone was just like hot. They were like, no, we can't have you like working out in the heat anymore. So we all sat, like I said, I had my speaker, played music, played volleyball, a few people playing football together, people playing basketball. It was just really, like I said, once again, getting to know each other more. In the evening, we then decided to go into the indoor basketball court, and we just had a game of good old basketball. Like, a few of us joined in, and if we weren't joining in, like I said, we sit on the bench, getting to know each other. Okay, day 3 at camp. Once again, we woke up, had breakfast, away went to training, lifeguards went to training, and the rest of us, like I said, continued getting the camp ready. That's a lot of what orientation is going to be, depending on how long it is. I think this was like one of my favorite days during orientation because I felt like everyone just bonded so well. Like, we were playing volleyball, and I honestly had the best time. Like, this was like the 3rd time I've ever played volleyball as well. Everyone was just so nice. We got into teams, getting competitive, you know, it was fun. And then we like chilled in the staff room, and then we went into the outdoor basketball court at night, and we just, like I said, got to know each other. That's a lot of what orientation will be. Getting to know each other and getting familiar with each other. So day 4 was the day that my group got to go to Walmart. So like I said, during the week, you're kind of split into groups. So you're on like a rotation of doing different things. And honestly, like, I loved it so much. I even like took photos outside Walmart. I was like, no way. It is a bit just like Asda, but still, like, I was just like, no way, I'm in Walmart, do you know what I mean? So I bought loads of snacks, and then I was looking at all the American snacks, all the American sweets, and literally everything. It was good because this was the opportunity where we could buy stuff. We could buy toiletries, we could buy clothes, we could buy towels, we could buy anything really. So it was nice to go into Walmart. I think my group was like the 3rd group on rotation. So it was nice when everyone else went to Walmart and I could see what they brought, and then I could go to it and like buy it. So I brought like a laundry bag. I bought some baskets to put my like stuff in my cubby holes. I brought obviously like shower gel and all that kind of stuff because I had like travel size stuff. So that was also really, really nice. And also in the bus on Walmart, we had the radio on, and we were literally just singing our hearts out. It was so fun. When we got back to camp, like, we just chilled around, and then went and played some basketball, and then we went to the indoor cinema and we put a movie on. And then after dinner, we went back and we watched the NBA finals, which was really, really nice. And then we went back to our cabins, and like I said, it's like a big sleepover, so everyone's just talking about stuff. That's what I really enjoy. Like, you build sort of like a little mini sisterhood with it, because you they're necessarily, the people in your cabin aren't necessarily the friends that you've made. So it's nice to, you know, like I said, be around different people. I'm not going to bore you and literally go day by day, but for the rest of the first week, we also did a campfire, which was really nice. The first time I ever tried s'mores, and everyone was just singing. We were singing ABBA, like, honestly. And also we had regular games at night time where we would go up to the turf, and like I said, there'd be like American football and all that kind of stuff. The American staff arrived. These were also generals and specialists. They kind of got settled into their own cabins, as we were already, like I said, comfortable. Like, we already had our stuff in our cabins, and our cabins were full. We then got put into different groups with the American staff to then become friends with them. Some of the stuff we did in these groups were, we did the trapeze, we got to try out the water park, we got to try out the OA. Like, it was so fun because obviously we'd made a lot of friends during the first week, but then it was also fun to meet the Americans and like become friends with them too. At night, we continued our tradition of playing games on the turf. So we basically had a massive WhatsApp group, and everyone was just like, who wants to do this tonight, who wants to do this tonight, etc, etc. So we went on the turf and we did an international versus American game of football. We also did a game of basketball, mixed teams, and I thought this was really fun, like I said, to break the ice, to get to know each other, because I feel like American counsellors, they've had a different upbringing to us. Yes, they're the same age, but obviously there's like a lot of differences. So it was nice to get to speak to them and get to ask them the real questions. Like, they were really asking me if we eat tea and crumpets. But yeah, it's nice to like clear up stuff. I was asking them, is high school like the movies? As the American staff came, you start to see everyone just started to like mingle together. It was really, really nice. The friendship group's dynamics changed, but it wasn't anything really negative. If anything, it was for the positive as more people became friends. Our camp also organised square dancing and line dancing. These people came in and honestly it was so fun. It's one of my highlights. I've spoke about it in my other videos. Like honestly, we were doing like Cupid Shuffle, we're doing Cotton Eye Joe. It was just so fun because everyone was just silly and everyone was just goofy. Like no one cared. Everyone was getting really, really down. Like we all came out, we were all sweating. We were like, we've got to get in that shower because everyone was putting their full effort into it. Honestly, it's one of my best memories of camp, definitely. So obviously with orientation, there is a serious side. During this week, we were going to meetings about child safety, about safeguarding, about ticks, about wildlife, all that kind of stuff. Also, specialists began to meet with their specialist heads and start to plan what they're going to do for their program. Before going to camp, I didn't have that much experience with kids. I'd worked and volunteered at the odd play scheme and after school club, but anything, it was more looking after younger family relatives. So during the first week, I was educated a lot about child safety and just the general safeguarding of what to notice when things might not be correct with a child. As I was at a sleepaway camp, there's a lot of things I needed to know in order to keep myself safe and the child safe. We learned things such as the rule of two, for example, like never be alone with a child. If anything, if a child needs toilet, try and grab another counsellor to go with you. It was honestly really, really important that you listen at these meetings because they are there to keep you safe and also the child safe. We also learned on how to check for ticks and what happens if a child has a tick. If you have a tick, if there's a wild animal anywhere or anything, what you need to do. And I thought it was very, very educational as a lot of the stuff you basically need to know. Before going to camp, I was a bit worried, like maybe I don't know that much about this, I don't know that much about that, but honestly during orientation everything gets covered, so you'll be fine. Towards the end of orientation, we could actually then request what age group we wanted to be with. So what we did was we were in alphabetical order and we went into like a room sort of thing, and there was a panel of all the group leaders for the girls side, and I went in there and I basically had to say what age group I want to work with, what my job was doing. So if you didn't know, I was doing videography, so I was like filming, going around camp filming videos and activities, editing them, putting them on the website, putting them on TikTok, example. Yeah, so I had to go and explain to them what I'm job role, what age group I want to be with and why that would be suitable. So it's basically like a little pitch to see why I should be with that age group. I was very lucky that at my camp, if you are a specialist, you are also a hybrid. That means you are a specialist and a general counsellor. So when you're not teaching in your specialist hours, you become a general, which I really enjoy because it means you get to have a bit of both worlds. Like Hannah Montana, lol. You get the best of both worlds. Like you get to be a general, so you get to meet all, spend time with your kids and that kind of stuff at night and even activities. Then during the day, you're a specialist where you can enjoy teaching new kids from all ages at the camp. But yeah, so I think like 2 days later or the day after, I can't quite remember, we got told what groups were going to be. So we all sat in the canteen and they said, for example, the inter-counsellors are blah, 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 blah. And then we all got up and then we all went to our cabin and we met our group leader and we got a tour of our cabin and she asked us like who wants to be on the top bunk, who wants to be on the bottom bunk, etc, etc, which was really nice because I also got to meet the girls that I'll be working with as my co-counsellors. So shortly after that, we then moved into our cabins that we will be in for the rest of the summer. So we were in our cabins with our co-counsellors and we got to like move our stuff in, get comfortable, make the beds, etc, etc. It was really weird because like we'd spent just over a week or so with a group of people in a cabin and we were being separated, but it was honestly nice because I got to meet new people that I didn't necessarily meet. For example, as like I said, the lifeguards and away, they were in training a lot, so I didn't get to see them a lot, apart from like when we did things in the evening or when they were off training. So it was nice because I had a girl from away in my cabin and I also had a lifeguard in my cabin as well. So it was really nice to get to talk to them and just speak to them and, you know, catch up with them. So at my camp, if your kids are below juniors, when their trunks get delivered, these are these massive like trunks that these kids have full of stuff. Because we're lower camp, the counsellors have to then open the trunks and we have to unpack them. So we had to go to an unpacking meeting just to explain how the process works. We then returned to our cabins and we began to unpack the kids. This was like getting their bedding out, putting their clothes in their cubbies, putting their toys on their bed, putting their things on the side. Like we had like a cabinet at the side, and all those that were in upper camp came in and helped everyone else that was in lower camp. So as it got closer to the kids coming, we became more and more prepared for them. This would include like making posters for the kids, because when they come and they come off the bus, we have these massive signs that says like your group on it, welcome, blah 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 blah, blah 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 blah. So it was a lot of like making posters, like I said, getting the rooms ready, sorting the cubbies out, a lot of preparation for the kids, going to meetings, specialists going to their meetings to discuss what's going to be happening. Like I said, as a videographer, I was doing media. So the first when everyone was going to their meetings, it was a bit different for me because I was not teaching any kids. So I got to meet the other people I was working with. I got to go into my office. I got to get familiar with the cameras I'll be using, and like starting to like edit just clips I'd gone round and filmed during orientation, because I was in charge of making the staff video. So honestly, I was so happy to make the staff video with my fellow videographers. So this is a video that basically we show the kids when they arrive, so they're introduced to all the new staff that are at camp. So I decided to do a lip sync to One Direction, and honestly, it was so fun to film and it was so fun to edit, and I couldn't believe it. Like when I put the video together, the lip sync, honestly, I was so happy and I was so excited for the kids and everyone else to see it, because I had to keep it a secret from everyone. Like I couldn't show anyone. They had to wait until the kids were arrived to see the lip sync video. Honestly, I love it so much. I literally sometimes sit there and I watch that staff video because it was so cool. I enjoyed having like the creative freedom. We kind of did like a Fuller House intro where we were introducing all the other staff, like the receptionists and all them, because obviously like some kids know a lot of the regular staff, like the senior staff, but some kids it was their first year at camp, so it was nice for them to also get an introduction to all the staff that I've been at camp for years. We also got given our staff t-shirts, as we have to wear them on arrival day, and also we have to wear them on the weekend. And when arrival day came, we were having lunch, we got ready, we got the signs, and the first bus came. All the kids were coming along. We were holding the posters. They were all hugging their counsellors. They were getting to know their new counsellors, such as myself. The kids were taken back to the cabins. They got to settle in. They then came out and waited for their other friends, because they had like different buses coming from different places, like Long Island, etc, etc. And at first it was so overwhelming because there was like all these kids. And like you were like, this is when real work begins, like this is when the job begins. So I would say arrival day was very challenging and very tiring, because honestly you've just been living your best life for 2 weeks, no kids. I actually felt like I was at camp myself, going down the zip line and everything. But this is when you were like, the real work actually begins. So everyone was kind of tired and like a bit overwhelmed, but honestly we got used to it. You get used to it. It's like when you first start a new job or you first start secondary school, like the first 2 or 3 days are a bit rocky, you do get a bit tired, but like after that, honestly it's so rewarding. So guys, that is the end of the video. I hope I've kind of explained what orientation is and what it was like at my camp. As I said, different camps do different things, but most of them follow the same kind of basis. I know some camps don't have a long orientation, like 2 weeks. Some camps have a week or 11 days. So obviously your experience might be quicker because you have less time. But honestly, like I said, orientation was so fun. This is where most of my friendships started. And like I said, I hope it kind of like helps you to kind of see what it's about. Because when I first heard orientation, I was like, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. So let me know if this video was helpful, and let me know what kind of videos you want to see. TikTok, thank you guys. One of my videos got 1 million views. Like, what? I was so shocked. But thank you. I'm so grateful. And for you guys that DM me and that saying that my videos are helpful, and those that comment on my YouTube videos, I'm so grateful. And honestly, I'm there to answer any questions you have. So make sure you follow my TikTok. Make sure that you follow my Instagram. My DMs are open. And I hope everyone has a good year. And honestly, if you're going to camp this year, it's going to be the best summer. Over and out.